person around with you? Okay, it's Parthis is recording. So here we go. Yesterday we did Akbar. We started Akbar and we know that Akbar at a very small he too was appointed as the clear.
Ma'am, your
Ma'am, your
voice is
voice is
breaking very
cutting.
much.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
your voice is
Yes,
breaking very
ma'am.
much.
Your voice is not
Now
coming. Ma'am, your voice is fumbling.
he was working under the
Ma'am, your voice is breaking a lot.
Yes, ma'am, we can't
Yes,
Okay.
understand
ma'am.
what.
Okay, child. Thank you. I will try again. Akbar, at the age of 13, was okay.
Ma'am, your voice is not coming.
Yes, ma'am, your voice is not
So,
coming.
what to do? Should I stop? Should I not do? And tomorrow or some other day? बेटा क्या करूं मैं? I am myself the बाहर जाते. Now can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes,
your
ma'am.
voice is not coming clear.
Yes, ma'am.
But can you hear me now? It's not coming clear. It will take time.
Yes, ma'am, it's coming now.
So we pay attention. We started with Akbar. He, at the age of 13, was looked after by a man called Bairam Khan. Now, he was the person who was looking after the campaigns also and taking advantage of the young age of Akbar. There's a man called Hemu, or also known as Hemchandra. What he did was he tried to capture Agra. To capture Agra, he was checked and stopped by Bairam Khan, and there took place and after conquering capturing Agra, he moved to Delhi. From Delhi, as he was moving, Bairam Khan checked him, stopped him, and he was defeated in the second battle of Panipat. So Bairam Khan defeated him in the second battle of Panipat. Then after that, Hemu was captive. He was made captive, and he was brought and executed in front of Akbar. After that, Akbar regained Delhi and Agra, and Bahram Khan, as his regent, helped Akbar to conquer Punjab, Jaunpur, Ajmer, and Gwalior. Now, if you see the map, you will see Agra here. Can you see right in the center, Agra? Just next to it is Ajmer. Jaunpur is also somewhere just close by. So all these surrounding areas were then captured by Akbar along with Bairam Khan. Now we talk of Akbar's conquest. This is very important. By AD 1560, Akbar was 18 years old and wished to rule independently. In order to establish himself firmly, Akbar set out to expand his empire further. Now he adopted two methods. One was the direct conquest and the other was the marriage alliances. Now, as Akbar grew, at the age of 18, he decided that now he'll take up all the powers. The powers went in his hands and he wanted to consolidate his empire. Consolidate means usko pura strong banana. After capturing, holding on those places under his supremacy. So for that, he followed two techniques. One was direct conquest. That means he went to the place and he conquered. The second was the marriage alliances. That he married the princesses of those particular kingdoms of which he wanted the power to go in his hands. So what happened is in AD 1561, Adham Khan defeated Baz Bahadur, the ruler of Malwa, and annexed it to the Mughal Empire. So now, the moment I say Adham Khan defeated Baz, now you must be clear that Adham Khan was the person working under Akbar. He was the general of Akbar who went to Malwa, and the ruler of Malwa was Baz Bahadur, and he defeated Baz Bahadur, Adham Khan, not Bairam Khan. It was Adham Khan who conquered Malwa and gave it as a conquest gift to Akbar. In AD 1561, Adham Khan defeated Baz Bahadur, the ruler of Malwa, and annexed it to Mughal Empire. So please underline the date 1561. Underline 1560 also, because it was at this time he started establishing his kingdom by conquest. Then AD 1564, Akbar attacked Gondwana. Gondwana was annexed to the Mughal Empire. Even the Gondwana kingdom were annexed to Mughal Empire under Akbar. Meanwhile, Akbar suppressed the revolt of his half-brother Mirza and the Uzbeks. So, while he was looking after the territories and conquering kingdoms one after the other, at home also he had certain problems. His half cousin, that means maybe his chacha or bua's son, Mirza Hakim. He was a constant threat. He was bothering him. So he went there and suppressed him. Other tribes called Uzbeks. These people were also gaining supremacy. So even Akbar dealt with Uzbeks. Then he conquered Sisodia, capital of Chittor. Underline Chittor. The capital of Chittor at that time was, the rulers of that time were the Sisodia kings. He went there and conquered them in 1568. And who was the ruler? Rana Uday Singh. So in 1568, he went and captured Chittor. The ruler was Rana Uday Singh. In 1569, he seized Ranthambore. Now, Ranthambore also was a place somewhere here. Can you see in your maps? Ajmer ke niche, can you see Ranthambore, Chittor, all these areas in and around? Can you see this gray marking? This is the extent of the empire, extent of Akbar's empire. Can you see that? So he seized Ranthambore. Then he had to again suppress a revolt in support of Mirza Hakim in 1579 and 1580. So Mirza Hakim was continuously a threat to him. He was his half cousin, so he could not do much about it, but he was trying to every time gain supremacy. Akbar was stopping him to do so. Campaign against Rajput states. Now, during Akbar was a Mughal ruler and he was constantly being in threat by the Rajputs at that time. So he had to look after the sorry the Rajput states as well. In 1562, the Raja of Amber married his eldest daughter Jodhabai to Akbar. Underline the date 1562. You must have seen the movie Jodha Akbar. There, the Raja of Amber, since he knew the powers of Akbar and he knew that he would not take up a battle with him, so he agreed to give his daughter in marriage to Akbar. And the name of the daughter was Jodhabai. Now, the Raja, his son Bhagwan Das, and his grandson Man Singh were later given senior positions in Akbar's army. Now, just because Raja of Amber had given his daughter to Akbar, the Jodhabai was given as a wife to Akbar. So the king of Amber, his son Bhagwan Das, and his grandson Man Singh were later given the nice positions in the Akbar's army. Some Rajput chiefs did not accept Akbar's suzerainty. Suzerainty means they did not accept the power of Akbar and they refused to consider him the king. So, in these connections, what he did, like one of them was Rana Pratap of Mewar, fought a valiant battle to regain the independence of Mewar. So now Rana Pratap of Mewar had refused to give over to Akbar, and he took up a fight and had to face a battle. Akbar next conquered Ranthambore, Gujarat, and Kalanjar. So later on, he went and conquered these areas: Ranthambore, Gujarat, and Kalanjar. So can you see Gujarat here? And Kalanjar is also just subordinate to it. Clear? So these were the places which were conquered by Akbar later. He now turned his attention towards the rich province of Bengal. Now, Bengal is this side. After conquering places in this western side, he moved now to Bengal. And can you see Gondwana land? It was looked after. The suzerainty was accepted. The people of Gondwana accepted him as a king. So he did not take up a fight with them. I mean, he just proclaimed himself supreme. That's it. So he went to the rich province of Bengal. Now, Bengal was annexed in which year? 1574 and 76. Then Akbar conquered Kashmir in the northwest in AD 1586. Please see Kashmir. He went and conquered there, Kashmir, in 1586. Then Kandahar and Kabul in 1587. Can you see Kandahar and Kabul? Kabul, they are outside India now. Earlier, they were all a part of it. Outside India, Kandahar and Kabul were conquered. And Sindh in 1590. Now, Sindh is again a part of Pakistan now, but earlier it was conquered and it became a part of India. Can you see the extent of the empire? It is crossing the Indian territory. He was now able to protect his northwest frontiers and increase trade between India, Central Asia, and the West. So now his northwest frontier, this is the top is north and west. This is the northwest frontier. He was able to protect it and take up a trade and commerce in these areas. Clear till here? Moving
Yes,
further,
ma'am.
Deccan campaign.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we come on to his Deccan campaign. Now, when we talk of Deccan, we talk of this part of India, the below portion. Okay? This area. Khandesh, Berar, Ahmednagar, Golconda, Bijapur. All these areas are the Deccan areas. Okay? So let's see what he did. After his northern conquest, he went to the south. Now, having consolidated his having consolidated his empire in North India, Akbar sent his officials to persuade the rulers of Ahmednagar, Bijapur, and Golconda to accept him as their ruler, but they refused. Akbar then waged a war against Chand Bibi, the queen of Ahmednagar. She gave in after a brave resistance, and parts of Ahmednagar were annexed. In AD 1596, Berar was annexed. In AD 1601, Khandesh was also annexed to the empire. So the years you have to remember, Ahmednagar took up a fight. Just I will show you the places again. Ahmednagar, Chand Bibi took up a fight. She gave a strong resistance, and later on, a certain portion of it was conquered, and certain portions still remained with Ahmednagar. Then in 1596, Berar was conquered, and 1601, Khandesh was conquered. So Berar is here, Khandesh is just above Berar. Can you see these two places right in the center of the mobile? So these are the places which he gradually conquered in the Deccan area. Then Akbar's empire now stretched from Hindu Kush in the northwest to Brahmaputra in the east, and from Himalayas in the north to Godavari in the south. Let's see it. Hindu Kush in the north. This is the Hindu Kush area where Kabul and all is. Then till Brahmaputra. Can you see the Brahmaputra river here? So from west to east, it was all under him. Then from north, from Kashmir till Dar and Khandesh areas, all were under him. Clear? Last years of his reign witnessed rebellion by his son and successor Prince Salim, that is Jahangir. So the other name of Jahangir, he is known as Prince Salim. And in the last years of Akbar, it was Jahangir who was bothering him a lot. So we begin now. Jahangir. Jahangir succeeded to the throne after his father Akbar's death in AD 1605. Please keep underlining the dates. When he ascended the throne, he took the title of Nasiruddin Jahangir, which means conqueror of the world. Please underline Nasiruddin Jahangir. Once he became the king, he took over the throne. He called himself Nasiruddin Jahangir, and which meant conqueror of the world. Jahangir continued the policies of his father. So, just like his father, whatever Akbar used to do, even Jahangir followed just the same. Then campaigns and conquests. And AD 1613, Jahangir marched against Rana Amar Singh of Mewar. So now the present ruler of Mewar after Rana Sanga was Rana Amar Singh. And he went to there in Mewar. Rana Amar Singh was defeated and accepted Mughal service. So now it was under Rana Amar Singh that Mewar also fell in the hands of Mughals. Now, if you remember here, you see that Rana Pratap, sorry, not Rana Sanga. Can you see the last two lines here? Rana Pratap of Mewar had earlier not uh, taken up to give up to Akbar, but later on, after his death, it was his successor, Rana Amar Singh of Mewar, who gave away to the Mughal rule. And he was defeated and he accepted Mughal service. Then Jahangir also conquered Kangra, Awadh, and Bengal and brought them under his control. So you must be thinking that Bengal was earlier conquered by Akbar. Why are they saying that? Is it was conquered by him? It is only because after the death of Akbar, these small kingdoms they again rose up to power. So Jahangir had to stop them. What was the other name of Jahangir? Salim. ठीक है? Prince Salim. Once he became the king, he was known as Jahangir. Once he took over the throne, he started calling himself as Nasiruddin Jahangir, which meant conqueror of the world. And he conquered back these places called Kangra, Awadh, and Bengal. Then Jahangir next turned his attention towards the Deccan. Now, again, just like Akbar, after conquering the northern area, after consolidating the northern area, he now paid his attention towards the Deccan area, where Malik Ambar had declared himself the ruler of Ahmednagar. Now, after Chand Bibi, you remember Chand Bibi had given resistance to Akbar? After Chand Bibi, the next person who took over the resistance was a man called Malik Ambar. Please underline Malik Ambar. And when you were reading about Deccan conquest of Akbar, underline Chand Bibi. She was looking after Ahmednagar. So now Malik Ambar, he took up a fight. Okay. So let's see. He declared himself the ruler of Ahmednagar. He sent his son Prince Khurram to campaign against Malik Ambar. Now, Jahangir sent his son Prince Khurram, who was later known as Shah Jahan also. You will come to know about it. So, Prince Khurram was sent to Deccan Ahmednagar to stop Malik Ambar. Although Ahmednagar was subjugated in AD 1616, Malik Ambar declared his independence a few years later. Now, the word subjugated means that though with a strong battle fought by Prince Khurram, he was able to conquer Ahmednagar. But as soon as he went back to his kingdom in Delhi, as soon as Khurram went back after conquering Ahmednagar, Malik Ambar, who was the ruler of Ahmednagar, again declared himself independent. Clear? After few years. Although Akbar had conquered Kandahar, the Persians attacked it again in AD 1622. Jahangir wanted to send his son Prince Khurram, but he refused. Now, you remember that Akbar had conquered Kandahar. Kandahar, let me tell you again, is a place somewhere here. Okay? outside India, Kandahar. So Akbar had already conquered that area. But as soon as he had left, after his death in 1622, Persians had attacked Kandahar and taken away the territories from the Mughals. So now this time Jahangir thought that he would send Prince Khurram again to conquer these areas. But Prince Khurram was very clever. He said, "No, you are making me run here and there. I'm not going to do that. You sent me to the Deccan. I went and conquered Ahmednagar. When I came back again, Malik Ambar had reconquered it. Now you're wanting me to go to Kandahar." So he refused. This enabled the Persians to conquer Kandahar. Now, since Prince Khurram refused what Jahangir had told him, so Kandahar was gone from the hands of Mughals and it was occupied by the Persians. This was a serious blow to the empire, as much of the trade between India and Central Asia passed through this region. Less successful campaigns were launched against Sikhs and Ahoms. Prince Khurram, the future emperor Shah Jahan, rebelled in the last years of his reign despite Nur Jahan's efforts to marginalize him. So now they are talking of that finally Kandahar went into the hands of Persians, and because of that, trade and commerce suffered because that area was very prominently important for trade and commerce. And later on, they took up under Jahangir, they took up the small conquests like they were fighting against Sikhs, they were fighting against Ahoms, and Prince Khurram later on in the last years, who was later on known as Shah Jahan, had tried to regain the power by taking over the kingdom after Jahangir. Clear? Now we stop here and we will take up the lesson next time when we meet. Am I clear till here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Dear- Okay,
Yes,
beta,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to request
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
Parth, is put down